On today's little video on back garden tips, we're just going to do lt50 carb clean. This is for my son's quad. It's been sat over winter since last time it went out, and it's just looking a bit sorry for itself. So I'm just going to do a little video on how I clean my carbs up. First, I've just got like a little tub with some petrol in it, a toothbrush. Gonna need a little flathead screwdriver to take jets out, and just a star screwdriver just to take the ball off. So all I do first before I attempt to open insides up, just get in there and give it a good scrub with petrol. Clean all outside off, get all dirt off. Get in there, give it a good scrub everywhere. Probably should say you should wear gloves with this. Obviously we're working with petrol and stuff, but I've done it for years and it's never bothered me. Like, just takes all sticky, all muck and grime and that gets stuck in there. Just get in. Toothbrush helps because it gets in all little gaps. So to make sure you can get in everywhere. I mean, some people might use a parts cleaner machine, pop a ultrasonic them all down, but you haven't really got time for that. Be sat about waiting. Do you know what I mean? If you're on a job or you want to go out quickly on a weekend, and you just want to give it a quick carb clean before you go out, I mean, obviously this way it's a lot quicker and saves a lot of time. Make sure it gets in. Now the quad did run good before it was sat, but obviously with it being sat over time, fuel goes like jelly on inside. Look at that. That's all your muck off outside at carb. Clean down. I'll give that a little wipe, but you can just see camera angle's a bit shocking really. It's come up pretty clean. It is a genuine Japanese carb, not the cheap knockoff with cheap brass. Let's give it a good dry down with an old rag. Get all excess off, but it evaporates anyway with it being fuel, so it dries up pretty quick. Look at that. Only takes like 2 minutes. You've got 2 bolts to take your back plastics and seat off. I always take that off because it just helps it easier to get in with your carb. You take your fuel pipe off. You've got 2 little screws. Take throttle slide out, choke slide. Carbs off within 5 minutes. I've cleaned that in what, a couple of minutes. So obviously we'll just get in. I'm just going to change the petrol. Leave that there 2 seconds. Just refreshed petrol, just got a bit more in there. Yeah, so you can do it fairly quick really. It's coming towards, well, lighter days are getting here now. Gonna get little boy out on quad. Now weather's warming up a little bit for him. But pretty straightforward. Good little quads, LTs. You just, like I say, nice little carb clean, keep on top of services and that. And they run forever. I'll be pausing the video soon, just quick thing, I'm just going to update the air compressor because it's a bit loud when it's charging up air like.
Just gonna get this ball off, have a look inside, see what it's like. It's been sat for about, I'd say about a good 3 months it's been sat there not used. I always drain the carb. When you're gonna leave something sat for a while, I always drain the float ball, and obviously that's just like minimal of what's been left in there from when I've drained it out. Which it don't look too bad. A lot of times fuel can go like jelly and stuff, so what I'll do is give that a good clean out again on inside. Just some fresh fuel to clean it up. Yeah. What we've got to do when you're cleaning the fork ball out as well, you need to make sure that that little hole, because that works for your choke on your carb, and you need to make sure that clears passage, because it goes down there and it comes out there. So what I'm going to do is I blow down there with compressor and make sure that it gets any dirt or grime out that accumulates in that little passage there. So do that. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at carb. Floats don't look too bad. You've got to be careful because these floats, they're only glued into this little brass thing here, and that can be common to break off, and then your float's just hanging in there. Do you know what I mean? Or sometimes it lets fuel in then, and when you get fuel in there, it's not the right float height. Just move that out where just got little. It's homemade camera stand. I've just got phone dangling from the roof, so that's why it's a bit of a funny angle. I'm just going to try to show you. Let's get that flatted on there. You can get. Don't know if I've put my other pliers or flatted. But basically, you just get you can use a small spanner that obviously fits, but pliers does, and quick little snap. And when you're cleaning it out, you want to make sure that the holes at the side are blown through, and you want to make sure that you can see all the way through there. And what I do is I hold the jet up to the light. I've got a light here at the side of me, and as I can see, that jet is slightly blocked. I can see a little bit of light through it, but what I'll do is when compressor charges up, I'm just going to blow it all through. And what I tend to do is, because the the jet sits that way in the carb, and you've got your muck and your fuel going up, getting sucked up, what I do is first I blow that way, so you're actually blowing the muck out the way it came in, because if you blow it that way, you're trying to force it up through, and you can end up getting it stuck further up if you can't get it out. Sometimes I use like a little bit of a copper wire, and you can feed it through, just make sure you can see through that. But what I'll do first is I'll get that side fuel, give that a little wriggle about, and then I'll blow that out. So I'll let that sit in there anyway. I'll let that sit in there, and what it is on these, I haven't had this carb in apart in a while. Because it's my little son's quad, and he's only just gone 3 now. Now he has been on it a few times. Right, so what I've done is, that's the pilot jet, right? And what on these lt50s they have, I'll just get one now. Here we are. these. I've got quite a few of them now because they're the restrictor jet in the carb. So what you'll do is in the carb you'll have your pilot jet, and then you'll have one of these screwed on top, and on top of their pilot jet, and that's a restrictor jet from factory. But I've got a few of them because every time I do them I take them out, because when I take them out it gives a quad, I feel like it gives a quad a little bit more bottom end, a little bit more power on the bottom end, which helps. And I have taken off my manifold as well, because when you obviously bolts to your engine, your carb goes on there, but on the manifold from factory you have a restrictor that sits in there. It's like a circle and a little slice in it, and it restricts it. And what I do is little screwdriver, wiggle it side to side, and you can pop the restrictor out, and that gives it a bit more power as well. So I recommend doing that. But by the time you've got an lt50 now, a lot of people have already done this restrictor taken out, so half the time when you take this off it's already been done. But if you get a quad and it's really slow and you don't know why, and your mate's lt50 is overtaking you, I would check at that, because a lot of people take that one out and they forget to take the little restrictor jet out as well. Also there's you get your end can baffle as well, which people block, unblock, like so yeah, you can see this float's not too bad. And what I do is, you can take it out there, it's on like a little spring clip, that's just your fuel jet. You can blow through, but what I do is I blow through there with compressor and it cleans any muck out. Because if your carb's just leaking out of overflow, it can either be your float or it can have muck in there stuck open, so then it's letting fuel in constantly and not shutting off like it's meant to do. So what I do is, as you can, it's a funny angle thing, but you want that line there of your float to be sat level with your carb body. So what I tend to do is I put a little pipe on here so I can blow through it, and while I'm blowing I turn the carb upside down and it should shut the fuel off. Now if it's not shutting the fuel off, you've either got muck in there or your float height, which you can adjust this little bronze tab. Cameras, you can adjust the little bronze tab here which sets the float height for the carb, which will shut off then. So when basically obviously blow through it, you can blow through, make sure you blow through, turn car upside down when you're blowing through the pipe. You should feel that shut off and you shouldn't be able to blow through it. If that shuts off, then you know that's set right and it's working. So what I'll do is I'll get my pilot jet and I'll get that set in fuel a little bit. Give it a good scrub. Because you want to make sure you can see through your pilot jet as well. As you can see, the fuel's getting a bit mucky. Obviously a lot of that muck's going to be coming off at toothbrush, what I've just used. But you want to try to get the fuel in there to try loosen any dirt or grime up. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to pause the video now, and I'm going to get compressor on go because it's loud and you won't hear me speaking anywhere, even if you're probably not interested in my voice, like. But 2 minutes. Right, so back in now. Basically what I've done is with compressor I've blown out all little jets, all little cavities in there. I've blown through all these. I've had float off, and what I use is I just use a tyre blow up. I just want you to put my tyres up, but what I've done is I've adapted 2 pieces of pipes, because you can get little blowers and stuff, but I find that this it managed to get into little spots, do you know what I mean? So I can pop and make sure it's all blown out properly. So I'm just going to fire carb back together now, because all these you can see straight through them now, they're not blocked. Yeah. So it hasn't really taken me 2 minutes. All I'll do is just make sure that when you tighten the jets in, just don't over tighten them, just tighten them in until they seat nicely, and just that extra little nip.
always make sure that they screw in with your hand first. And what else as well, I find them breathe a little better on the lt50 lid. I put a few little extra holes in, not many, just a couple, because I find that it breathes a little bit better as well, and the quad does actually react with it properly. So what we're going to do now is just fire it float back in. I've checked everything.